What's up, Pirates? It's Jim with AwakenedTCG, bringing you guys finally another video. Just got back from vacation a few days ago, and we are back on the content train. For those of you that do not know, this channel is run by me and Wraith. I know we got an influx of a ton of people, a ton of new subscribers, because obviously, as I'm sure you know by now, he won the Core TCG Regional with green and purple Dofi. That is absolutely fantastic, and I was super proud of him. Absolutely stoked when he won. I was watching like all of his last few matches, but anyways, for this video, guys, if you don't know, we do a weekly locals video where we like to put up a poll. So we'll give you 4 options, and you guys get to choose one of the options. And whatever leader you choose, we will bring that leader to our locals the next week and make a video on it. This one was actually delayed because when you guys voted for Black Luffy a couple weeks ago, I actually couldn't make that locals this week. So Wraith decided to fill in for me with Magellan, as it was the second most rated that week. And then this week we are finally doing the Black Luffy video, as I am the Black Luffy player. And I wanted to make this video as good as we could possibly make it. But anyways, enough with the talk. Let's get into the deck list. By the way, after this deck list, if you want to skip to the end, I'll have the full deck list on screen. And we will have 3 of my matches from the locals. Did actually pretty good, but let's get into it. So, first off, we've got 4 of brand new Searcher. This is a full Navy list for the most part, no CP stuff besides the blocker. So we are running 4 brand new. This works perfectly. It puts stuff in your trash, which doesn't really do much for you, but it does search on the 2-down curve, and that is what you're trying to go with this deck. Always trying to go second for the most part, besides a few specific matchups. Next up, let's get into our 2Ks. No brainer. We've got Suru. Everybody knows how good Suru is in black by now. This is basically the black Otama, as it has a on-play effect, 0 power. We know how good that is. Next up, let's go into Tashigi. A little more expensive Suru, except it is a body you can swing with, and a body you can rely on doing other things than just resting and minusing 2, but in a pinch, obviously, you can play it just for the -2 cost effect if you need to use it. Next up, let's get into the last 2K we have here. It's going to be Bartolomeo. He is just the 2K blocker. This is a fantastic card, especially against yellow. Just decks that can't remove blockers, this is great against, or if you just need a blocker in a pinch in the late game, this guy's going to save your ass. This deck does actually have a good amount of blockers, but if you need to see an extra one, Barto is here for you. Next up, let's get into our decent bodies and cards that actually KO things. First up, we've got 2 of 3-drop Kobe. Beautiful art on this regional participant art. This card, for the most part, I actually want to put it to 3. Just because it's really, really great against the blue decks that play like Sentomaru, which is your worst matchup. It's good against popping stuff. Anything in yellow is basically in range if you just do a little minus cost besides like 10 cost and 8 cost. This card is great to play on 3 or 4 Dawn, just getting rid of whatever they played. Or if you just have a slight minus cost effect, you can get rid of any kind of big threats like against a Katakuri. Any other 4-drops or like big 5-drop, 6-drop vanillas, this guy's going to get rid of pretty easily. And a 4K body, which is good because you don't have a ton of smaller bodies to swing with in this deck. So he is going to be one of the only ones there. And next up, we run 3 of the starter deck Kobe. This Kobe is underrated, I think. If you get a 10 cost Kuzan on board, this guy rips and tears. He is a one of the only cards in black that you can actually KO a card without discarding, which is why I love him. Also, not to mention, after you use his effect, if you have a bunch of blockers up, it's really hard to get rid of him, but your opponent still needs to swing into him or he's going to take out something next turn. So he also acts like a pseudo blocker in some instances. Amazing card, and I cannot recommend him enough. Speaking of blockers, let's get into the plentitude of blockers we have in this deck. First up, Fukuro. Black staple by now, unable to be KO'd by effects. With the recent red ban, I don't know if he's as necessary. Not a lot of decks. If red isn't as played as much, we will see. Trust me, there will probably still be a decent amount of red decks, but if red isn't as played as much, I don't think he's actually as necessary because, you know, they don't have the 5-drop Marcos and the Fire Fist, etc. anymore. But still a fantastic blocker for the 3-cost stat line. But like I said, if decks aren't KOing as much, I would probably switch him to the 2-drop Rocinante. And next up, we've got 4-drop Borsellino as a 4-of. No-brainer here. One of the best blockers in black. When this card was printed and revealed, everybody was like, why does it even have that effect? Obviously, this is a great card. Nothing to say about that there. And searchable off brand new. Next up, our last blocker, we've got 4-of Sabo. Sabo is a fantastic card that can cycle your hand out when you have a bricky hand sometimes. This deck does have a decent amount of big bodies, and you can actually run into hands that you really don't like. Fantastic card for those situations. Not to mention, say you have like a Kobe on board and you play Sabo. Now any of their small pop effects will not work on good cards like this, or say like your 4-cost Kuzans, or cards that you just do not want being KO'd, a Bartolomeo blocker, anything like that. This guy's going to be able to save them from any annoying KO effects. Great card in this deck, and he fits very well. Unfortunately, not searchable, though. Next up, getting into our basically only mid-sized body in this whole deck besides Kobe or any of the blockers. Mid-sized body that's not a blocker. It's going to be Kuzan, 4-of. This card, another Admiral. You're basically running all the Admirals. This card is a staple. One of the best cost reductions in the whole game. If he does not get removed the turn he's played, he is a high priority target. And even if this card does get removed, like against blue, if I play a Kuzan and they 3,000 worlds at the next turn, I don't really care because they actually are out a card in hand while I played this guy and drew a card. So he replaces himself on play, so if they do end up removing him before he does anything, it's really not that big a deal, as you actually didn't lose any card advantage by playing him on board. And if he does stick on board, he is absolutely devastating. Next up, we've got Sakazuki. We've got one of each type here. All great arts in themselves, but 3-of this guy, he can get a little bit bricky sometimes, so don't really like to run 4 of him, because if you see too many, it's kind of bad, especially with the other big bodies we have in this deck. But he's going to be your best KO effect, most consistent KO effect in the deck. They can basically take out anything in a lot of scenarios. So just the staple that you kind of need to get rid of those bigger bodies. And next up, we have 2-of Isho. A card that I think kind of phased out a little bit. I don't think people like this card as much, but that is actually a double-edged sword because people also don't play around it as much. People do know about it and they do play around it, but he can definitely surprise some people nowadays. And the Dawn ×1 -3 to everything is absolutely huge, especially with this next card we are coming up with. It's going to be 9-drop Shanks. A very interesting card that I think a lot of people don't like to play just because it's kind of really clunky sometimes. Also, Zoro might not be as good anymore, so he might not be as good as he once was. This deck in general is amazing against things like Whitebeard because you can play things on curve like Sakazuki or Kobe and attach one to leader and still be able to swing 6 at leader. Now that Whitebeard's banned, this leader kind of isn't as amazing as he would be in the meta. But anyways, back to Shanks. Yeah, amazing card that can get some disgusting board wipes if you have the 10-drop Kuzan or the Isho with 1 Dawn attached. This card can just destroy boards and swing games in your favor like crazy. But I'm not going to lie, a lot of the time this card is a massive brick. But we're playing black, so we have discard effects like Sakazuki and Kobe, so don't really care about it. A great discard target in a lot of matchups as well. But anyways, as we were saying, we do run the 10-drop Kuzan. Fantastic card that if you can get down on curve is going to net you value throughout the rest of the game. Unless you're playing against blue and they have red rock, but you know, matchups are matchups. But if you get this card down on board, yeah, it's basically saying the game is over unless you remove me. This card is absolutely fantastic, and it makes any of your KO effects kind of just get rid of anything on the board. I'm sure you guys know by now this card is not to be messed with. Next up, let's get into our 2 events that we run. First up, we have Great Eruption. A lot of people don't run this card, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it is a little bricky. I have thought about removing it once or twice, but then they'll come up with you know, a scenario where this card just works amazingly. Draw 1 and -2. Exactly when you needed it. And not to mention the trigger is decent as well. Just trashing a card from your opponent's hand when they are low on cards is not bad at all. But anyway, great card and great in a ton of scenarios with this deck. And last but not least, 2 Shockwave. Shockwave is the best black counter in the game, as I'm sure all of you know by now. Plus 4K and get rid of a 3-drop is just way too good. Getting rid of blockers or getting rid of anything that they really wouldn't want to swing with, like a Sugar against Green Purple Dofi, a Sento Maru in blue, a Perospero in yellow if they don't swing with it first, a Brule blocker, anything. This guy, you do have to think about it, and a lot of people do. Any good player is going to think about playing around this. If you leave 2 Dawn up, they know a Shockwave's there, but there are some scenarios where you kind of just can't play around it. And this card, you don't even need the KO effect sometimes. Just the plus 4K is going to save you for you to be able to go for lethal in the next turn. But anyways, guys, that is the deck list. Do not think it's as amazing as it once was after the restrictions, because I do think this deck shined the brightest against Whitebeard, as that was its best matchup, and now that that's not a deck anymore, obviously this deck's not going to be as good. If more blue decides to show itself in the meta, and there's tons of crocodiles and stuff like that, this deck might fall from grace. Obviously, it's not the best deck ever, but it is a ton of fun, and I think it is definitely high mid-tier. This is a really good deck to play. And I think I'm going to be able to show you guys that in today's gameplay. Anyways, let's get right into the gameplay. Getting right into the first game, it is going to be me on the right, on Black Luffy, obviously, against none other than the core TCG regional winner, Wraith Talks, on his main deck. Hilarious that we got matched up in the first match here, but we're going to be duking it out, and I don't think this is a terrible matchup for Luffy. He's actually going to win dice roll and put me on first, too, which is kind of rough. But we're going to go ahead and do 1 Dawn and pass. He'll pass right back to me on 3 Dawn. We'll go ahead and attach 1 to lead, swinging 6, which is always going to mean a brand new is going to come down for 2. And we either have the Borsellino or the Sakazuki to choose from here. I think we already have blockers in hand, so we're going to go ahead and just grab the Sakazuki and pass to him on 4. He's going to go ahead and play 2 for Sugar, rest the brand new, and swing at it for 7. Not the most amazing start, and that is what is going to allow us to kind of take this game away. But anyways, we are now on 5 Dawn. Going to play Sabo and see what we get. We got 2 Kuzans in hand, so we're going to actually go ahead and decide to get rid of 1 and a Shockwave, which is not amazing in this matchup, and he's going to use his Sugar to arrest our Sabo, and we're going to swing at it with Leader. Going to KO it and activate Leader effect for fun. But he's going to be on 6 Dawn, go 5k to lead. We're going to take that with no trigger and play the signature Shiki. Shiki, not great in this matchup, as obviously you have KO effects and not just through battle, so not going to be amazing in this matchup, and I think he's actually thinking of removing it now that Whitebeard's been banned. But we're going to go 5k, and he's going to take that. Very interesting. And now on 7 Dawn, we're going to go ahead and tap 4 to play the Kuzan we just got last turn, drawing 1, and the remaining 3 to play a Chapapapa and pass to him now on 8 Dawn. Great turn to play a Luffy here, but it doesn't look like he has it. He's going to go ahead and go for the sugar and go aggro on our Kuzan, demanding cards out of our hand or blockers. So he's going to go 7. We're going to go ahead and block 2k. So if he does a large swing at it again, we'll probably just give him a Fukuro. Anything lower, we'll probably just give him 1 card out of hand. And there's that lower swing. He's going to go 6k at it, and we're going to give him another 2k. A lot of 2ks in my hand in this start, but that's what happens when you run 12 2ks. Kind of too much in some scenarios, but also feels just right in others, so it's just a preference at that point. He's going to go ahead and play Queen. Forget to put 1 Dawn back. And he's going to trash a Thunder Bagua and restand 2. Now passing back to me, now on 9 Dawn, I'm really thinking about this play. And I think about it for a while. But he remembers that he has to put 1 Dawn back eventually. And he's going to put it back, and that's going to make my play pretty obvious. So yeah, he's going to put that 1 Dawn back, and that's going to make my play easy because I did not want to play the Isho in that case because he was going to rest Isho with sugar. And I just didn't want it to get 10 cost Dofi. But now realizing he is not a 10 cost Dofi next turn, this is going to make this Isho right here real easy. He's going to lay those cards out for us. And we're going to take 2 and get a 10 cost and a Nami. Not bad. Definitely trying to get the 10 cost there. Pretty sure he has another one in hand, or he has one in the future, but we're going to go ahead and, after playing the Isho, he's going to have to rest his sugar to rest something. Really thinking about what to rest here, as he knows he's going to have to swing at it. If you're wondering why I played the Isho before I swung with my board, it's because I wanted to do this. I wanted to swing at the sugar with the Fukuro. And he's going to go ahead and give me the block. We'll go 6k because I do not want it to be spiderwebbed. And he's going to go ahead and give us that. We'll go 5k lead. And he's going to actually take that. I do not know if he should have taken that one, but he's going to go ahead and do so. Probably looking for a card to play. Now on a 9 Dawn. No 10 cost Doflamingo this turn. Laying out 7 Dawn to play a Luffy. But we know he does like to kind of trick you with that. Gonna swing and take out the Fukuro, the Kuzan. Swinging 2 over every time, and the Sabo. Not wanting to get rid of too many cards in my hand. He's gonna play Luffy into the bins. So great board on his side, and not so great on my side. I do have the Isho, which he cannot remove. And we're gonna go ahead and play 10 cost Kuzan. KOing Queen as it is our only target, and attaching 1 to leader. So we could swing with leader here, but he would just be able to block with Luffy, and there's kind of no point because I'd have to attack with Isho at that point, and then he gets 2 great rest targets with 10 cost Doflamingo. So in that case, we are not going to attack with anything, not giving him any targets at all for the 10 cost this turn, making his turn very awkward and making him give us 1 of those 4 life. But he's going to go ahead and play the Buena Festa. Searching top 5 to grab a Nami, and he'll play that exact Nami. Looking at top 3, he found a Nami with the Nami, but he can't actually play. He can't actually grab it, but he's gonna go ahead and just switch it for the ugly one. Great play on his part. It's same difference, so he just wanted the alt art out. I'm just asking him what the hell just happened because I honestly wasn't really paying attention, but we are all good. No, this is a local, so we do goofy stuff like this. That doesn't make a difference. But do not do this stuff in a regional, obviously. He's going to go 7 to lead. We're going to take that, go down to 3, no trigger. Another 7 to lead with leader. We're going to go ahead and take that. No trigger there. Sorry, we're actually going to give him a 1k and a 2k with the Shiki. And then he'll swing another 7 with the Luffy, going down to 1. Very scary spot here if I was not ready for this. So attaching 1 to Isho, Kuzan -5, everything's -8, and boom! That is a massive Shanks. KOing his entire board, 7-drop Luffy and all, and attaching 5 Dawn to leader. That is probably the biggest Shanks I've ever gotten, and one of the craziest things you can do in this deck. Now we have 3 10k swings lined up, and another 10k on board for next turn if he wants to use the 10 cost to rest them all, and he will just have to lose to the 20k swing as he is now at 0 life after those 3 10k swings. In a very bad spot here. I don't think there's anything that could really win you the game at this point. Even if you play a blocker, I'm probably just going to KO it. Not a great spot. I just have way too many big bodies on board. He did not rush me down like he needed to this game. And yeah, there's the 10 cost. It's kind of his only option at this point. I'm hoping I misplay it, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and counter out of that. No difference. I could have taken it, but 20k, 3 cards in hand. There is no 3 cards in the game that can save you from that, but that's going to be GG's. Getting into our next game here, we've got my least favorite matchup in the game. It is Blue Crocodile, and he actually won dice roll and is going to put us on second. I honestly, in this matchup, I go first because the only way you can really win this is to put him off curve and go aggro. You need to just swing at that life, make him give you his cards, and have kind of awkward turns where he doesn't have good cards to bounce. But he's going to be going first, nothing to play on his 1-down turn. And unfortunately, we have nothing to play on 2-Don. He'll go 5 lead, we'll take, and he will play the Sentomaru, getting the perfect curve. If we had the 3-drop Kobe here, this is a great target for it. We're going to swing 5. He'll take, and we'll just play the Kuzan. Kuzan, not bad if he decides to remove it, because he will not be able to use Sentomaru effect, and will also, he'll be negging 1 while we did not neg 1. But he's going to go ahead and use Sentomaru effect, which means he can't remove Kuzan this turn. So he will be getting value on this next turn. Just shuffling the deck real quick. And with 2-Don remaining here, he is going to go ahead and just swing 7 to lead. And we're going to go ahead and take that. Now on 5-Don, sorry, not 5-Don, now on 6-Don. We finally got the Kobe in hand. Wish we had it earlier, but probably going to use this to KO something on board this turn with the assistance of Kuzan. Like I said, this you kind of just need to go face. He's going to remove your board if you keep playing 1 card per turn, so you really just need to play like a red deck when you play against blue. We're going to go 7 lead, go -4 to his Pacifista. Make him think we're going to target it. He'll give us a 2k and a 1k. We're going to play Kobe, take out a Sentomaru. We do not want that getting any more value. And we'll do the leader effect from the KO, attaching 1 down a leader and doing another attachment for another 7k swing. And he ended up taking that one. Now passing back to him, he'll go 5k to Kuzan. We'll give him a 1k and 6k. You need to preserve the bodies on board because like he's just going to do this. And if I let that go, he would have sent Kobe back and I would have had nothing to swing with. You just need cards to swing with this in this matchup. Or you are just doomed to lose. Because even if you get to your 10-drop turn and play 10-drop, it just gets red rocked. Like there's not a lot you can do against that. But anyways, we are now on our 8-Don turn. We're just going to go ahead and go 5k lead. He'll have to give us that miss all Sunday. And we'll go ahead and play 8 for a double Kuzan, draw 2. So not a bad turn because this is his Mihawk turn. So if he does want to play Mihawk, he's only going to be able to remove 1 body. Or 2 if he decides to use leader effect. But that takes him off 10 cost Kaido, which is good for us. He'll go 5, we'll counter out. 6, we'll counter out. And another 6, we'll go ahead and take that one. And he tries to bottom deck our Alt Art Kuzan, but we're like, no, you can bottom deck the one that doesn't look as cool. But anyways, back on us. We are on 10-Don. No 10 cost Kuzan this turn. 10 cost Kuzan this turn would be amazing, actually, as we can get rid of the Mihawk. But we do not have it, unfortunately. And we would be forcing out a Red Rock from him next turn, which would be actually really good. So figuring out how to separate the Dawn here, we're probably just going to end up going aggro while trying to remove something from board. We're going to go 7 to lead and -4 to his Pacifista. He'll take that. Putting 3 on Kobe, going another 7 to lead. He'll give us a double 2k, and we'll pay 4 for the starter deck Kobe, KOing the Pacifista, attaching 1 to leader and another one, swinging 7, and he will give us another double 2k. Now on him, on 10-Don. A Kaido here would not be bad, as it would make his board very threatening and get rid of my entire board in one swoop, because he could just swing at the 1k Kobe with leader and then go at leader from there. But he'll go 5k, like I said, with leader to the Kobe. He'll go 9 at Kuzan. Not going to give him 3 cards for that. And he will just go another 9 at Arkobi, clearing our entire board and playing a blocker. Organizing his top 5, making these next few turns guaranteed to be rough for us. At this point, we are in a really bad spot. Not a lot of ways to win, but that doesn't mean we aren't going to try. So we're going to go ahead and play the Suru, -2 to the Doflamingo, and KO it with the Shanks. Attaching 1 to lead, and we're going to go 6 to Sogeking. And it doesn't look like he has any counter in hand, because he's actually going to give this to us. So we're in a better spot here. Not great, but better. If he has the Red Rock here, it's going to be a little bit annoying, but he'll go 9 lead, and he'll go another 9 lead, and we'll have to take both. And there's the Red Rock, as we were thinking. 2 cards in hand and no Dawn Up. Gonna make it real easy to take out his Mihawk here. A 13k swing guarantees it, and a 12k swing basically guarantees it with all the 2ks he's been giving us this game. So thinking about how to swing here. I want to play a few things, and I also want to swing at the Mihawk. So I think I'm gonna end up going 12. Yeah, we're gonna put 6 on lead. Now we're put 6 in lead, go 11. Okay. Yeah, so he doesn't have it. If he had 2k, 1k, that would be annoying, but we'll play Borsalino for 4, just trying to get any body on board that can swing. Unfortunately, he has another Mihawk. If he doesn't have the big bodies here, this makes this game a little bit easier, but just playing the Mihawks and getting big bodies while we're moving board towards the end of the game is really rough. We're going to go 5 lead. Thinking about this, he's going to decide to take it. I'm not sure if he actually had any counter in hand there, as he gave us the Sogeking earlier. But we're going to go ahead and play Sabo for 5, looking for something good to play. We're going to get rid of that 10 cost that we drew a little too late. And we're going to get rid of a Fukuro, deciding to play another Fukuro and leaving 2 Dawn Up. For Shockwave, if he decides to remove our board and swing heavy. Now on 10 Dawn, he's thinking about playing Kaido here, and I tell him, dude, if you play Kaido, you can remove my entire board, and there's no way I can win. Like, you just have to go for it. Finally going to come out of the think tank, and he's going to do what he should have done 5 minutes ago and send back Sabo and Fukuro. He'll swing 5. We'll do the Sabo like we just did, and he'll swing 9. We have to give him a Shockwave and the Fukuro he just sent back as well. He has 1 life here. We don't run any rush cards. I think the only rush card in black is Rob Lucci, and we don't even run that package anyway, but there isn't just no way to win here. So we're going to have to try to clear Mihawk and block her up. And unfortunately, he's going to counter out of the 10k swing with 2 1ks, and then we're going to play Barto, leaving 2 up for another Shockwave. If we got rid of the Mihawk there, I don't know if there's a world where we win this game, but yeah, we're going to have to lose this one here as he swings at us heavy 3 times. Very bad matchup for Luffy, as you can see. And in decks that like to play 1 card every turn, Crocodile's just going to destroy that and send it back to your hand. You play a card, he sends it back. It's really bad. In a lot of scenarios, I really just like to attach all my down to leader and just keep swinging and force him to give you blockers. And then you're going to have to KO the blockers with your KO effects and then just keep swinging leader. It's basically just you need to race him before he starts putting big bodies on board. That is, from what I've experienced, the only way to win this matchup. If the Crocodile is good and plays their cards on curve and sees the cards they need. And hopping into our last game here, we are now 1-1, so this game doesn't really mean much, but it is a fun matchup. Black versus black. A lot of cards that counter itself. So we're going to be going against my buddy on Smoker. He is the low tier god, and he's going to end up going first, and I'm going to end up going second, which is really good for me. We're both going to pass on our first 2 turns, and I will take that 8k swing. Now I am on 4 Dawn, and I will swing 6. He'll take that, and I'll play a Fukuro. Not amazing starts for either of us. Kind of wish you had the Kuzan to start here. But he's going to go ahead and play Hina on curve and swing 5. We're going to go ahead and counter out 1 with Sabo, and he's going to pass to us on 6. Real fast game here. But now on 6 Dawn, Not a very obvious play, but we're going to go ahead and go 6 lead just to make him not be able to block for free with Hina and play a Sabo. He'll give us a 2K. And with Sabo, we will go ahead and decide to trash 2 2Ks, as I think we had like 6 in hand. So I do not need that many 2Ks. I need cards that do things. So I got rid of those and kept the cards that I need to win this game. Now back on him on 7 Dawn. He's going to go ahead and pay 3 for a Fukuro, a fantastic card against any black deck. And he's going to go ahead and attach 1 to leader and swing 6. We'll just give him a 2K Barto, and he'll pass to us with 3 up. Definitely telling me he's at least got a Shockwave, but it doesn't really matter right now as our target for it can't be KO'd by effects. So we're just going to go 5 lead. He'll block with Hina, do Sabo there, and we're just going to do the double Kuzan, draw 2. Not really a big deal there. Kind of just the only cards I had to play that turn. But now back on him. He's going to go ahead and play 5 for the starter deck Smoker. Haven't really seen this card played since set 2 when Smoker came out. But he's going to go ahead and attach 2 to leader and go 7. We're going to take that and pass back to me. Now on 10 Dawn, we are going to be the first one to play 10 cost, KOing is Hina. And this is exactly why you want to go second. The first one to play 10 cost in this matchup just kind of wins. Because even if they play their 10 costs after yours, you can just get rid of it. But I'm going to swing a ton of times at leader here. Make him give us a ton of cards out of hand. Give us that barrier there. And we will have a entirely rested board with a 10 cost. We're looking really good right now. And he's going to play the 10 cost of his own, getting ready of our Sabo. And he'll go 7 at one of our Kuzans. We'll just give him the blocker, knowing he has no swings left. And he'll swing 5K with lead, and we will just counter out with a 2K. Now back on me. Definitely highest priority is getting rid of that 10 cost. If we have the Sakazuki in hand, which we do, we are going to use it. Pop that 10 cost. Really, really bad for him here, and this is basically the turning point where he has just no chance to win this game. We're going to use leader effect, attaching 1 Dawn to leader. And we have a ton of good swings this turn. We could go after the Smoker. We're actually going to go after it here, see if we can get it. He's going to give us the blocker. And at this point, we're just going to get as much cards as possible, or put him down to no life. So we're just going to go with Kuzan first, 5 at lead. He'll take that. We'll go another 5 at lead, and he'll actually take that, showing me he doesn't have like any counter in hand. And we'll go 8, and he has to take that as well. Using our last 2 to play a brand new. We're going to grab a 2K, as I think that is one of our only 2 in hand. Now back on him. A lot of cards in hand, so he has a lot of plays to do this turn, but he's going to go ahead and play a Kuzan of his own, drawing 1. I'm going to pay 3 more to play that Barto. Great card in this situation. Even though it can be KO'd by effects, it does force that out. He'll go 6 lead, we'll give him a 2K. Or 6 to Kuzan, I think, sorry. And 7 to Kuzan, we'll give him a 2K and a 1K. Basically sealing the deal here, as we have a massive board to swing with, and he only has 2 Dawn up and no life. We're going to play Kobe, just get rid of that blocker. We didn't want to deal with it. That'll allow us to attach 1 Dawn to leader. Leader already at 6K. We're going to go 5K lead, just trying to whittle down his cards in hand right now, and using the Shockwave on that 5K just shows me that this game is over. And yeah, I'm gonna go all on Kuzan. That's game. And if you guys saw there, I'll play it back here, but he actually got a trigger, not a trigger, but he used this Shockwave and he KO'd my Kobe. A lot of people don't know, but the Luffy leader reads any card being KO'd on your turn. So since he KO'd my Kobe, it actually allowed me to attach another Dawn to leader for free, which is kind of funny, but didn't make a difference. But that is something that a lot of people don't know about this leader. All right, that is going to wrap up our locals and deck overview for Black Luffy. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love this deck, and I think it is actually a surprisingly strong deck. A lot of people sleeping on this deck. Unfortunately, as I was saying prior, I don't think it's as good going into this meta just because Whitebeard has been banned, and I think this is that matchup was where this deck kind of shined the most. So very unfortunate. I'm just gonna throw out my opinion right now. I don't agree on the bans. They did not need to do that. If they were gonna do this, they should have done it last set. They should have done it OPO3, mid OPO3. This is when they should have banned these cards. And I don't even know if one drop Nami should have ever been banned, but if they were gonna do it, it should have been back then. I don't know why they're doing it now when everybody knows in 1 month or less than a month, maybe at this point, all the new OPO5 decks are gonna come out and just kind of not invalidate red, but take red out of the #1 spot anyway. So very weird, but I think it's going to be kind of fun just to play in a meta that is unknown. One of the things with this game is the East gets all the cards before we do. So unfortunately, the meta is kind of spoiled for us before we go into it. I know a lot of people, myself included, very much enjoy deck building and finding out some hidden things that nobody's found before to find decks that work and are the best and can perform very well in the meta. And I know there are still opportunities to do that, but with being 3 months behind of a meta that you're going into, obviously is going to allow a lot less creativity, as things have kind of already been figured out at that point, unfortunately. But anyways, very much looking forward to OPO5, but sorry I went on a tangent there, but thank you guys for watching the video. If you haven't seen the poll yet, we have the poll up for next week. It looks like Blue Purple Kaido is winning right now. Very spicy deck that I think is going to be kind of gross with a lack of Law Zoro. If a lot of people are playing Law Zoro, Blue Purple Kaido, that was its worst matchup by far and did not allow it to basically ramp up and play the big bodies because it just went too fast. Blue Purple Kaido is going to be insanely scary now. You definitely got to look out for it. I'm probably going to be bringing it to Pasadena. That or Black Luffy, but honestly probably Blue Purple Kaido. But I will be showing you guys my gameplay and deck list on that for next week's locals. So please stay tuned. This has been Jim with AwakenedTCG. Thank you guys so much for watching, and you guys have a great day. Peace.